Ladies and gentlemen, you remember the pain, the betrayal, the moments they made you feel small, insignificant, like you were nothing. But let me tell you something. Nothing is ever forgotten by the universe. Nothing. Every wound they gave you, every tear you shed, every silent scream in the darkness, it all has a price, and they will pay it. Stay with me, because by the end of this, you will understand why you don't have to lift a single finger, why the very weight of time will do what needs to be done. Pain is an extraordinary thing. It lingers, embeds itself deep in the fabric of who we are, and whispers to us in the quiet hours when no one is watching. It tells us we are weak, that we were meant to suffer, that somehow we invited the wounds that have scarred us. But that is a deception, a cruel mirage designed to keep us chained to the past. Because pain, despite its terrible weight, is not a curse, it is not a life sentence, it is a lesson, a teacher, a test. There is something powerful in understanding this, something transformative, because those who inflicted the wounds, those who tried to diminish you, to break you, to see you crumble under the weight of their cruelty, were never truly strong. Strength does not lie in the hands that strike, nor in the words that wound. True strength is found in those who endure, those who rise despite every force trying to keep them down. Look at your life. Every moment of betrayal, every heartbreak, every time you felt abandoned, ridiculed, humiliated, it did something to you. It made you see the world differently. It made you question, made you doubt. It made you build walls around your heart, not because you wanted to, but because you had to. And perhaps you wonder why. Why did it have to happen to you? Why were you the one who had to suffer? That is the question that haunts so many, the question that sits heavy on the soul. But here is what most fail to realize. Pain is not given to the weak. It is given to those who have the capacity to overcome it. It is given to those who, if they survive it, will emerge with an understanding that others will never have. You have been tempered by the fire, sculpted by the storms, and whether you realize it or not, you are stronger for it. The world does not build character through comfort. It does not teach resilience through ease. Those who have never suffered, never been broken, never tasted the bitterness of betrayal, they walk through life untested, fragile, unaware of their own limitations. But you know the depths of suffering, and because of that, you know the heights of strength. The pain they inflicted upon you did not weaken you. It prepared you. It gave you a wisdom that cannot be taught, only lived. And what of them, the ones who hurt you? People believe they can act without consequence, that their cruelty will be forgotten, that they can walk away unscathed. They believe time will erase their actions, that they can wash their hands of the damage they have done. But life does not work that way. The universe does not operate on chance. There is a balance to all things, a reckoning that comes not by the hand of man, but by the hand of time itself. When someone chooses to inflict pain, they set something in motion, a force beyond their control, beyond their comprehension. It does not come immediately, and that is what makes them so certain they have escaped. They sleep soundly, unaware that the weight of their own actions is already circling back toward them. People think justice must be served by human hands, that revenge is the only answer, but that is a mistake. The truth is, those who act out of cruelty, who betray trust, who step upon others to elevate themselves, these people create their own destruction. It is written into the very fabric of their choices. They will go about their lives thinking they have moved forward, that their actions are nothing more than distant memories. But time does not forget. It waits. It watches. And when it strikes, it does so with absolute precision. The weight of their choices will return to them, and they will feel the full measure of what they have done. You may not be there to see it. You may never witness the moment when they finally understand the pain they have caused. But rest assured, it will come. It may come in the form of loss, in the form of betrayal, in the form of an emptiness they cannot escape. The very things they inflicted upon you will manifest in their own lives, not because you wished it, not because you sought revenge, but because that is the nature of existence. And when that moment arrives, when they finally understand what they have done, something incredible happens. They will think of you, they will remember the pain they caused, and for the first time, they will taste the bitterness they once forced upon you. That is when true justice is served. Not through anger, not through retaliation, but through the unshakable law that governs all things. What you put into this world will return to you. That is why you do not need to carry the burden of hatred. You do not need to seek retribution, because time itself is the avenger. The hands of fate are far more precise, far more just than anything you could ever orchestrate. And so the question is not whether they will suffer what they gave you. The question is, will you still be looking back when it happens? Or will you have already moved forward, already risen so high that by the time their world begins to crumble, you will be too far ahead to even notice? There is something remarkable about endurance. It is not the loudest quality nor the most celebrated, but it is the one that defines those who survive, those who last, those who refuse to be broken by what was meant to destroy them. The world admires strength in its most visible forms, power, dominance, control, but the greatest strength of all is unseen. It is the quiet, unshakable resilience of the one who has suffered yet continues to rise. Endurance is not about ignoring pain. It is not about pretending that suffering does not exist. It is about standing in the center of the storm and refusing to be swept away. It is about looking at the wreckage left behind by betrayal, cruelty, and injustice, and choosing to keep moving forward. It is the decision, made over and over again, not to let the darkness win. There are those who believe that revenge is the answer, that striking back, making them feel what you felt, will bring justice. But that is an illusion. There is no justice in lowering yourself to their level. The moment you give in to vengeance, you hand them control. You let them dictate your actions, your emotions, your future, and you are worth far more than that. The world is filled with people who gave up because they believed the pain was too much to bear, who stopped believing in themselves because someone else convinced them they were not enough. But if you are still here, if you are still standing, if there is still breath in your lungs, then you have not been defeated. The weight of the past may be heavy, but it has not crushed you. The pain may linger, but it has not silenced you. The greatest response to those who tried to break you is not anger. It is not bitterness. It is the simple act of continuing, of refusing to let their actions shape your destiny. Because the truth is, every time you rise after they expected you to fall, every time you refuse to let their cruelty define your future, you are proving them wrong. And that is something they cannot escape. Time is the great equalizer. It moves forward with or without us. It does not ask for permission, nor does it offer second chances. But time has a way of revealing the truth. It strips away the illusions, the lies, the false victories of those who believed they had escaped the consequences of their actions. There is no escaping time. It catches up to everyone. Those who caused harm, who inflicted suffering, who thought they could walk away without looking back, will one day come face to face with the weight of what they have done. It may not happen today, it may not happen tomorrow, but time is patient. It does not forget. People believe they can outrun their past, that they can bury the damage they have done beneath distractions, success, or self-deception. But the past does not disappear. It waits. It lingers in the shadows of their own minds, in the quiet moments when there is nothing left to distract them, and when they least expect it, it returns. What they gave you, they will receive. Not because you demand it, not because you orchestrate it, but because that is the way life works. What is sown must be reaped. And those who planted seeds of pain will one day harvest the same. There is something extraordinary about watching time unfold, about witnessing the slow but certain way in which everything comes full circle. It is not about wishing harm upon those who hurt you. It is about understanding that life has a way of balancing itself, that you do not need to seek justice because justice is already in motion. And while time is doing what time does best, you have only one task: to move forward, to rise beyond the pain, beyond the bitterness, beyond the past. Because the greatest victory is not in their suffering, it is in your survival, it is in your success, it is in your ability to look at everything that was meant to destroy you and say, I am still here. That is the true power of endurance. That is the truth time will reveal. Those who inflicted pain will come to know it, but you will have already risen so far beyond them that their suffering will no longer concern you, because by then you will have found something far greater than vengeance. You will have found freedom. They wanted you to fall. That was their intention from the beginning. Maybe they never said it outright. Maybe they wore smiles and spoke sweet words. But behind it all was a desire to see you crumble. That is the way of people who thrive on control, on manipulation, on power. They believe that breaking others makes them stronger, that diminishing someone else somehow elevates them. They thrive on seeing pain, on watching the light in someone's eyes fade just a little bit more each time they strike. But what happens when you don't fall? What happens when, despite everything they did, you continue to rise? That is something they never prepared for. It is something that terrifies them. Because your survival, your success, your ability to stand unbroken, those things unravel everything they believed. People who cause harm do so because they lack something within themselves. They are driven by insecurity, by fear, by a deep and hollow emptiness they cannot escape. And so they lash out, they tear others down, they create pain as a distraction from their own. But when you refuse to fall, when you take every wound and turn it into wisdom, when you rise above their reach, they are left with nothing but themselves, and that is their greatest punishment. They will watch as you become everything they said you couldn't be. They will witness your growth, your success, your happiness, and it will eat away at them. Not because you have done anything to them, not because you sought revenge, but because the very thing they tried to destroy is thriving, and that is something they cannot bear. You do not need to fight them. You do not need to prove anything to them. The moment you rise, you have already won. Because while they are trapped in their own bitterness, their own regret, their own self-inflicted misery, you will be free. There is something profound about letting go. Not forgetting, not excusing, but letting go of the weight that was never yours to carry. The longer you hold on to resentment, the longer you remain bound to the past. And that is what they want. They want you trapped in the pain, stuck in the memories, defined by what they did. Because as long as you are looking back, you are not moving forward. But what happens when you release it? When you no longer replay the moments that broke you, when you no longer give space in your mind to those who never deserved it, that is when you become untouchable. That is when you become truly free. People spend their lives seeking revenge, believing that if those who hurt them suffer, they will find peace. But peace is not found in their pain. It is found in the moment you stop allowing them to have power over you. When you let go, you do not set them free, and while they remain trapped in their own consequences, in the weight of what they have done, you will have moved beyond them. They will suffer what they gave you, but you will be too far ahead to even notice. So you don't need to chase revenge. You don't need to lower yourself to their level. Let time handle what time was designed to do. Your only duty? Rise. Because your success, your happiness, your unbreakable spirit, that is their reckoning. They wanted to see you fall? Stand taller. They wanted to silence you? Speak louder. They wanted you broken? Become unstoppable. And when they finally feel the weight of what they have done, when life makes them taste the very pain they served you, do you know what you will feel? Nothing. Because by then you will have moved beyond them, beyond their reach, beyond their power. They will suffer what they gave you, but you will be free